And show. My name is Fifi, and today is our milestone 50th edition of the show. I'm very excited, as you can see, from everything that's happening in the studio. I should say a big thank you to everyone who has supported this show, from Godfrey Akotobuafo, who created and conceived the show, to our producers, Nene Afedi Emmanuel, Kojo Benjamin Jau, who has been supporting us as well, and Fifi Coleman, our executive producer, as well as to Michael Eduse, head of social media here at Paul Sport, and to all the team, George Salia, Thomas Freeman, your boy on the sports desk, our sports editor, Evans, and Kwame Boache, as well, a lot of people supporting the show. We are grateful to all of you for supporting the Game Plan show. 50, episode number 50 today. We have a lot to discuss as usual. I'll be telling you about Asamoah Gyan, who yesterday commissioned his $300,000 facility. More about, Emmanuel Game Boy Tagoe, who will be fighting in August. That's August the 26th. He will be fighting in a world title bout. Not a lot has been said about this. We'll be building up to that fight. Remember, another fight will be happening over the weekend. That's July 22nd. Will be between Isaac Dobre and Javier Nicolas Chacon from Argentina. That first bout will be happening on Saturday. But next month, as I told you, Emmanuel Game Boy Tagoe will be fighting as well. There are so many things to discuss. Also, Nana Addo Dankwa Akuffo Addo, the president of the Republic of Ghana. Yesterday, he met the press on his performance in his first 6 months in office. And, there was a conspicuous absence of sports journalists, and, there's been a lot of talk by sports and entertainment people were left out. We'll be discussing that as well. Please send in your comments. What do you think? Should Nana Addo have invited sports journalists, and should the conversation have been more on sport? I don't know what you think, but you should share them with me on the Game Plan show. We are live on our Facebook page, Pulse Ghana Sport, and this is Fifi Anama. Before I delve straight into the issues, I'd like to say a happy birthday to the professor, Azumah Nelson. He's 59 years of age today. He's a legendary Ghanaian boxer, widely heralded as Africa's greatest ever boxer. He was one time a WBC featherweight champion and a WBC super featherweight champion. So that's Azumah Nelson, the professor, turning 59 today, 19th of July 2017. So that's it for our shout out before we begin the show. Let's take a quick breather on the Game Plan show, and I'll be back to delve deep into all the issues that we have for you today. Stay with us. Game Plan show. We're still live on our Facebook page, Pulse Ghana Sport. Please drop your comments, your suggestions, anything that you want us to read out on the show. We'll be glad to do it as well. Now let's go straight into our first story for tonight. And Asamoah Gyan, the captain of the Black Stars, Ghana's record goal scorer, record caps holder, and Africa's greatest ever goal scorer in the World Cup. Yesterday, at his alma mater, he commissioned a $300,000 facility dubbed the Asamoah Gyan Sports Center, which consists of an AstroTurf which he imported from Turkey. Sleek facility, and Asamoah Gyan was helped in this ceremony by the former president of the Republic, Isiama, the Minister for Youth and Sport. Other dignitaries at the event included Ni Aikai Agentete, who is an old student of Accra Academy, perhaps their most famous old student. He was a crack athlete in his heydays in the 50s and 60s as well. Trained a lot of Ghana's biggest athletes as well. He was also at the event. Also at the event were musicians Obrafour, Miss V, and D Black as well. Now, after the main commissioning, there was a game between Friends of Asamoah Gyan and Old Black Stars players. Now, what happened was a 1-1 draw between both sides, and the first player to score a goal at the newly commissioned pitch was Godwin Atram. Interestingly, the former assistant coach of Accra Great Olympics. Now, I'll give you some of the players who featured for the Old Black Stars. We have Stephen Bedu, Afododu, Yao Echampong, Ibrahim Tanko, the assistant Black Stars coach, and Abukari Damba, also a former Ghana international goalkeeper, and Lai Kingston for the Old Black Stars as well. So Asamoah Gyan has now commissioned a $300,000 facility. He's very proud of it. Yesterday, for most of the journalists that visited, the scene of the commissioner, Asamoah Gyan looked quite emotional when he was giving his speech, and he announced, rather ecstatically, that he has spent close to 5 million Ghana cedis on charity, and his companies combined have employed over 200 Ghanaians. And so he's doing a lot in the UAE for 6 years, where he earned tons of money. I mean, at a point he was earning close to $300,000 a week at Al Ain as well. So Asamoah Gyan has had his fair share of riches, and he feels it's time for him to give back to society. We have the speech that he gave at his commissioning ready for you on the Game Plan show right
all protocol observed. Over the past 5 years, my foundation, the Asamoah Gyan Foundation, has started the lives of many Ghanaians in various ways and have undertaken the landmark projects. We restored the water pumping system in Winchi. We built the mechanized borehole at Tagoe St. Francis Teachers Training College. We have donated equipment to the Rage Hospital, Kolebu Teaching Hospital, the Mamprobi Polyclinic, and the Children's Hospital, Babaso, Kumasi. We have supported students through sports, supported the Heart Center at Kolebu, registered Suhum Blind Association of the Health Insurance Scheme, and provided them with walking canes and talking watches. Again, we have supported and still support students with scholarship at all levels of education through the master's level. By God's grace and the support of Ghanaians, we have spent over 5 million Ghana cedis on charity and social intervention, and employ over 200 through my companies. We have also produced a world boxing champion by name Emmanuel Game Boy Tagoe through the Baby Jet promotion. I may not be the best talent ever, but this pitch will produce great talent from my hard work and sacrifice for the great good. I haven't got much to say, but I would like to thank everybody for coming. I grant God's wisdom, and I know this school will produce the next Asamoah Gyan one day.
Asamoah Gyan, you're welcome back on the Game Plan show. That was him talking about how his outfit, his whole group of companies, from the Asamoah Gyan Foundation to Baby Jet Promotions to so many other companies, have employed cumulatively over 200 Ghanaians and have spent close to 5 million Ghana cedis on charity and other social work in Ghana. He also talked about how he might not be $300,000 pitch that he has commissioned at his alma mater would go on to produce the next Asamoah Gyan. And for him to say that, it carries weight, because Asamoah Gyan is a legend no matter which angle you look at it. Come on, this is Ghana's all-time leading top scorer. He's Africa's all-time leading top scorer at the World Cup. He's Ghana's all-time record caps holder, and he's one of the greatest African strikers to ever play the game, per his numbers and per his achievements as well. So, probably the only thing missing, from his cabinet is the AFCON trophy, which he says he will win with Ghana at a certain point in the future. So that's Asamoah Gyan commissioning his AstroTurf inside the premises of the early 2000s, when Coach J.E. Sapon was a physical instructor at the school. Now let's read some comments from you guys on Facebook. Very excited to have all of you watching our show today. We have Ajete Nene Gladion. You're saying, okay, I'm waiting. I guess you were waiting before we started the show as well. Idi Ali, you are saying, watching you live in Berlin. Thank you, Idi Ali. Godfrey Iku, who has now become a friend of mine. You are saying you are watching from Morocco as usual. Thank you very much, Godfrey, for your comment. And I'll be following your issue like I promised you earlier this morning. Now, Cosworth Brown, you're saying, hey guys, hold on, I'm driving on the highway. We'll join you shortly. Oh, I'm so sorry we couldn't wait for you. We just had to go live because, our systems were ready to fire. Driving now. Abdul Karim, you're saying your mouth is faster than your talk. I guess a technical problem that we are facing with the current broadcast. So I am sorry if you see it that way on your device. Apologies for the slight hitch there. Now, Ajete Nene Gladion, you're saying I watched part of the president's conference, and I think he invited enough. I'm guessing you're talking about the journalist. Well, that's your opinion, sorry. A lot of talk on radio this morning regarding the fact that some journalists were omitted from the Meet the Press encounter that His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akuffo had with the Ghanaian press. Now, Vitalis Pakzu, you're saying, I am glad to be a part of the 50th episode of one of the best sports. Godfrey Akoto, our Honorable Fifi Anaman and his crew backstage. May God move you higher than now. Thank you very much. This is a very well thought out comment, a very kind one, and we appreciate it from the bottom of our heart here at Pulse Sports and at the Game Plan Show. I mentioned the people behind the show before I started, so I'm sure you have an idea of everyone who's working so hard to bring you the show every Monday to Thursday. And so, yes, let's move on to our next topic. Accra Hearts of Oak have in fact visited some injured personalities in the wake of the Asante Kotoko bus crash that happened last week. Now, the contingent visited the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital where they visited the bedside of Coach Stephen Bas from last week. Now, the contingent, and I'll mention all the people who comprised of the team. There were Corporate Affairs Manager Kweku Sechikwashi, Communications Manager Kwame Opare Addo, Management Member Nana Asabre, National Chapters Committee Public Relations Officer Baba Ashi, as well as Deputy Organizer Honorable Salijo, Ashanti Regional Chapters Committee Chairman Ishak Umar, Hearts News Deputy Editor Anwar Umar Larry. Anwar Umar Larry, shout out to you on the Game Plan Show. He's a big brother of mine, one of the best sports journalists in Ghana, in my opinion. Anwar Umar Larry. This is a special shout out from me to you. Anwar, yes, he operates the Hearts account on Twitter as well as on Facebook. For those of you who follow Accra Hearts of Oak at the moment, yes. So Anwar Umar Larry, current deputy editor of Hearts News, was part of the team. And photojournalist Daniel Anane Boachi Yadom were all at the hospital to visit Coach Stephen Polak, who in fact had a surgery on his right knee last Thursday after the accident. 2 days ago, we heard he took his first steps after surgery, and so he's recuperating. the convalescent Stephen Pollard, the Englishman who is currently in charge of Kumasi Asante Kotoko there. So, you know, a lot of issues coming up from the Kotoko issue. We are hearing that, you know, they are not ready to play matches here. Remember, everyone who was involved in the accident was later given a follow-up checkup at the Baba Yara Stadium on Saturday, and we are hearing that the players are not ready to compete. Who didn't travel have started training under under-18 coach Ernest Appel there. So that's the update from Kotoko's camp regarding their accident and everything that happened. Also today, in Kumasi, the 1 week celebration for the departed Mr. Obeng Asare was held, and you know, I hope most Kotoko fans in Kumasi were able to attend it. Sad day for the Porcupine Warrior fraternity, losing one of your own, the deputy equipment and kit manager of the club, who unfortunately lost his life on the spot of the accident at Nkoko last Wednesday after a league game against Inter Ally. So rest in peace, Mr. Kofi Asare. We played you a video of his wife, Mrs. Portia Asare, was the only one who perished from the accident. Sad day, sad time for Ghanaian football. We can only wish that his soul rest in peace, and we can only express our condolences with the bereaved family. So that's it from the Kotoko camp. Accra Hearts of Oak have visited the team in a show of solidarity. Remember, both clubs were supposed to meet in the Ghana Premier League last week, and of course that match was indefinitely called off. So was the match between Asante Kotoko and league leaders Wafa, which was supposed to happen this week and didn't happen because the Kotoko team is still recuperating from the accident last week. So tough time for Ghana football, but we can only hope that things improve from here on. Remember, the league is still ongoing, except that breather on the game plan. I'll be back to read more of your comments and delve into other issues. Back on the Game Plan show, milestone 50th edition. Now, we ended the last segment on the rather sad note of the Kotoko tragedy, but we are still inviting you to bring in your comments, send in your comments on our Facebook page, Pulse Ghana Sports, and I'll be glad to read them. I have some more comments coming in via our Facebook page. Vitalis, I see you. Ketre Yao FIFA, you are saying, may the good Lord bless my only football, Dr. Jan. May God grant him more favor whenever he reaches. Well, interesting comment coming in from Ketre Yao FIFA. Cosworth Brown, you're saying, I think this is a step in the right direction, giving back to the society, just the right thing to do now. Big ups, Dr. Jan. Now, James Kofi Arthur Pepsin, you're saying, I'm watching you live from the Czech Republic. Kudos, you are doing a great job. Thank you very much for your kind comment, James Kofi Arthur Pepsin. Now, Abdul Karim, you're saying this guy has been doing good for Ghanaians, but they don't appreciate him. I guess you're talking about Asamoah Gyan, who recently commissioned his Astro. I can see Nene Afedi in the studio beaming with pride at the mention of his former score, his alma mater. James Kofi Arthur, you're saying Republic. Thank you very much. I can see you watching Godfred Ayuku and Richard Owusu. Shout out to you guys as well. We're still on the Game Plan show talking about the issues that are making rounds. Now, let me give you a bit of breaking news that I've just received from the Commonwealth Youth Games, which are currently happening in Nassau, in the Bahamas. Yes, Ghana sent a contingent of 12 athletes and 11 officials who left the country on Saturday and Sunday. Now we are hearing that Ghana's Abeku Jackson has qualified for the 50-meter butterfly finals with a time of 25.12. Best swimmer. He has the best times. He's only 16 years of age. Competed at the Olympics during Rio 2016 as well. And now he's at the Commonwealth Youth Games. He'll be participating in the World Swimming Championship, the FINA organized World Swimming Championships in subsequent weeks as well, but currently in the Bahamas and doing Ghana proud. He's qualified for the final of the 50 meters butterfly event. So that's a bit of breaking news coming in for you guys who are fans of swimming and of course fans of Abeku Jackson as well. Now let's move on to other issues. I'll be telling you more as we go along, but let's talk Emmanuel Gameboy Tagoe, right? The 30-year-old boxer. He fights Dr. Asamoah Gyan. This is very important to our captain. He always said that we should put some respect on his name. Dr. Asamoah Gyan. Remember, he was given an honorary doctorate 2 weeks ago. It was conferred to him at the Faculty of Law in Kumasi by a Ukrainian university, the Alfred Nobel University, established in 1993. They offer some courses here and there, and they decided to give Asamoah Gyan an honorary doctorate. So he's now a doctor, and he's been saying that we should be calling him Dr. Asamoah Gyan. And so yes, Dr. Asamoah Gyan owns Baby Jet Promotions, who promote Emmanuel Gameboy Tagoe, current IBO lightweight champion of the world. He's a world champion, except that the IBO is not as popular. I don't really see Emmanuel Tagoe as a world champion, but I can tell you on authority that he beat South African Mzonke Fana last December at the Bukom Boxing Arena to win the IBO World Lightweight belt, which he will be defending, in fact, this August. It will be on the 26th of August against Agenis Mendes Zapata. Zabata. Very interesting boxer. He's 31 years of age. He's originally Dominican, but he's been based in the US of A for a very long time. Based, in fact, in Brooklyn as well. He has a fight record of 24 fights, 5 losses, and a single draw with 12 knockouts. He'll be facing Emmanuel Gameboy Tagoe, who has a record of 27 fights and 4. So since 2004, he has not lost a single bout. No wonder he is currently a world champion. 27 fights, not a single loss after his first bout in Accra in 2000 as well. So he's 30 years of age, nicknamed Gameboy. He's been in camp preparing, in the gym, getting himself in shape for the all-important bout at the Bukom Boxing Arena. The second, big fight that will be coming up after Isaac Dobe and Javier Nicolas Chespita's Chacon. Yes, so that's what is happening with Ghana boxing. Let me tell you more about Emmanuel Gameboy Tagoe. He's been training in the gym, and Samuel Inimado, who manages Gameboy Promotions, he's confirmed the date for the fight, which is August 26th. He said that Gameboy has been training hard against Zapata. It's interesting news coming in from the camp of Emmanuel Gameboy Tagoe. So 2 big boxing bouts to look forward to for those of us who are boxing fans. On Saturday, we have 22-year-old Isaac, the Royal Storm, the Brave Kid Dobe, coming up against Javier Nicolas Chespita Chacon. He's a 36-year-old Argentine boxer. He actually arrived in Ghana on Tuesday night, which is last night, and the fight will be happening on Saturday at the Bukom Boxing Arena. That fight will be for the WBO Super Bantamweight International title, which is like an eliminator for the main title, which is currently being held by 25-year-old American Jesse Magdaleno. So interesting stuff coming up for Ghana before the end of the year, and that is why his bout against Javier Chacon has been named the Journey to Las Vegas. Now the referee who will be in the middle of that bout is called Tony Weeks, world-renowned referee based in Las Vegas, Nevada. He arrived in Ghana over the weekend, and he'll be officiating that bout as well. But before then, we've been talking about Gameboy Tagoe, who will be fighting in August against Agenis Alexander Mendes Zapata from the Dominican Republic. So that's it for boxing on today's episode of the Game Plan Show. I'll take a quick breather. I'll be back to read more comments and do the last story, which is on Addo and Sporting Agenda. The Game Plan Show. Thank you very much for everyone who has joined us for today's edition. It's the 50th edition of the Game Plan Show. I'm just, taking my mind back to all the previous editions that we've had, all the challenges and all the sleepless nights and all the late nights on the show, just trying to bring you the best in sporting conversation, Ghanaian sporting conversation on packages coming up for you, our viewers, in the subsequent edition. We're still working on them. We'll be giving out some prizes, asking some questions on the show, and also be inviting some of you onto the show to have a discussion, how we like to take it easy on the Game Plan Show. Just, a loungy experience and just giving people the best in Ghanaian sports. Now, let me move on to our last story, which is on Nana Addo Dankwa Akuffo, the President of the Republic of Ghana. Yesterday, at the Flagstaff House, he met the press, a section of the Ghanaian press, on an in charge of government. Now, there's been a lot of talk about how, there was a conspicuous absence of people from the entertainment sector and from the sporting sector. On radio this morning, of course, sport morning radio shows, or Akuffo has been, neglecting sports and all that. We just want to ask you on the Game Plan Show, do you really think that sports is top on the agenda of Akuffo? Now, let me give you some facts. Now, the budget, which was released earlier this year by Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, obviously stipulated that the government will be spending 46 million Ghana cedis on sport. And this is an increase on 22 million Ghana cedis, which was allocated to the Ministry of Youth and Sports for the 2016 calendar year. So we are spending a lot on sports. Of course, the major focus from the budget was on the University of Ghana Stadium, which the government promised to rehabilitate. Of course, it's been 6 months and we've not seen much of an improvement on the facility. And, they also said that they were going to rehabilitate the... And, so these are some of the things that the Addo administration promised with regards to, the budgetary allocation for sport. How do you think they are doing? Do you think sport has done well in the last few months or weeks? Or do you think sports is in a better place compared to where we were in 2016? Share with us your thoughts on the Game Plan Show. I'll be glad to read them. Remember, we're still live on our Facebook page, Pulse Ghana Sports. My name is Fifi. And we're still doing a discussion on Nana Addo Dankwa Akuffo and sport. And, we're asking, do you think that the government has done enough for sport? Of course, it's been a short time, 6 months. But after all that you've seen, do you think we are doing well? Let me give you a bit of a recap of what has happened. In April, we announced the return of James Kwesiapia back in charge of the team. And we are hearing rumors that the Ministry of Youth and Sport actually had a hand in the whole appointment of Kwesiapia. Open secret, this is. I'm sure most of you have heard of this. Of course, since then, we've also heard rumors. The Honorable Majority Leader, Osechi Mensah-Bonsu, came out to say that the GNPC, the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, were considering cancelling their sponsorship of the Black Stars. Has that happened yet? We're still waiting for details, but just a bit of breaking news also coming in this evening. The Ministry of Youth and Sports has reached an agreement with the GNPC after a board meeting. Now, the GNPC will be providing $1.5 million to the Ministry of Youth and Sports for sports promotion in the country. We don't know whether this means that the sponsorship for the Black Stars, we are still following that contract very closely, but this is what has come up. There's been a press statement titled GNPC to partner Ministry of Youth and Sports in Sport Development. Now, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and I'm reading directly, can confirm the receipt of communication from the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation that this board has approved an amount of $1,500,000, which is $1.5 million, to support sports development and sporting activities of the ministry. Now, this follows strenuous effort, strenuous effort by the Ministry of Youth and Sports to engage with the GNPC for support for the development of sport, which is in line with our policy to partner the private sector for the development and promotion of sport in the country. US dollars is to be released to the Ministry of Youth and Sport to be used for the stated objective. Now, it is important to note that while we reiterate our commitment to the total development of sport, we will also encourage all federations and associations to cooperate and work with the National Sports Authority to develop a credible classification and categorization process, the aim of which is to ensure a mass and broad-based development and promotion of various sports disciplines across the country. Now, I saw a very interesting comment from Jerome Oche, who is the editor of Kotoko Express. He said that, the last paragraph from this particular statement is very verbose and very wordy, but in effect means nothing. I'm just reading it, I'm realizing probably what he said is very true. I mean, it's just, a lot of English, and $0.5 million US dollars will be used the right way for sports development. Now, it's very important that we stress on the fact that this is for sports development, not for football development, but for sports development. Now, we have a lot of sports in the country: boxing, swimming, judo, so many sports, golf, tennis, athletics, so we hope that the money is spread across board. Enough of the football concentration. Of course, the Black Stars haven't won us a trophy in over 35 years, so we have to invest in other talent, other sports, to make sure that Ghana, gets duo on the world stage. So that's breaking news coming in. The Ministry of Youth and Sport and the GNPC reaching an agreement over a contract, worth 1.5 million of the Black Stars, right, which was signed in 2013, January 2013. That deal was worth $3 million for 5 years, so $15 million. We are hoping that contract, details of it will become clear in the coming days. We are hearing rumors that it was cancelled at some point earlier this year. Of course, no confirmation yet, so we are waiting for details. Of course, that's it for the Ministry of Youth and Sports and for Nanado and for sport as well. Now, let me go to Facebook, read some comments, and let's bounce out of the studio on the 50th edition of your favorite game plan show. Who's watching? Okay, so we're still on Pulse Ghana Sport on Facebook. Keche Yao FIFA, I've read your comment already. Cosworth, I've also seen your comment. James Kofi Arthur Pepsin, okay, thank you for Julius Park. You are saying good luck to Dr. Jan's boy, Emmanuel Game Boy. We wish him to be our next Azuma Nelson. Hit it hard, boy. That's from Vitalis Bagzu. Godfrey Ayuku, you are saying Abeku Jackson is really talented in swimming. I pray he continues to lift high the flag of our homeland, Ghana. Now, Sharif Saleh, you are saying you are watching live and clear in Algiers. Keep it up. Thank you very much. So we have Morocco, we have Algeria, we have Dubai, we have Belgium, so many countries on the Game Plan show. And of course, we appreciate everyone's comment and contributions to our show. So once again, a happy birthday to Azuma Nelson, WBC featherweight champion, WBC super featherweight champion from the 80s, as well as Africa's greatest ever boxing export. No question about that, no doubt about it. We are August against Agenis Alexander Mendes Zapata, and also to Azedobe, the Royal Storm, the Brave Kid, who will be fighting Javier Chispita Nicolas Chacon on Saturday at the Bukom Boxing Arena. That's it for the Game Plan show. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back on the show tomorrow for our 51st edition. And once again, thank you to everyone who has made this show possible. I've mentioned their names already. I don't want to go over, but it's been me, Fifi Anaman, on the show. See you tomorrow and be good. Have a good night.